All right, we're back. I had to end abruptly. I didn't know how long I was going to be going away. So I'll go ahead and start my whole shtick again. I've lost all momentum, mind you. But good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be. This is, of course, Sketching Past Midnight Live. I am your host that has lost all of his mojo. CB Smallwood, the greatest of all time, the undisputed, unchallenged. So it must be true. Dang it. I had all kinds of funny, I had everything so well laid out, and then a monkey wrench got thrown into it. Some people delivered a bunk bed to me, so I had to go tend to that. So let's go ahead and let's start over. So anyway, I was talking about Crimson Frog, and Crimson Frog is Salazar writes, "Hey CB, hey, glad to have you here. I'm sorry about earlier. For anyone just now tuning in live, I had to kind of like leave abruptly. It's taking all the wind on my sails. Hope I can get that momentum back. So this could be a 30-minute show. This could be a 5-minute show. That's just how it works. That's the reason I love doing my shows when it's past midnight, because everybody is in bed. And I don't have to worry about being interrupted. I'm going to have to get me like a studio and just lock the door. Turn the phones off. So anyway, we're talking about Crimson Frog. And this is one of my secret projects. It's a bit of a PR stunt experiment matched with something that I'm really genuinely interested in doing. And I'll explain my train of thought. I got a bunch of stuff I'm always working on. And what time I'm doing Wildcat. I like to do these little side ventures because it helps me to keep my sanity, I guess. Helps me to stay sane. It should be in here. Where? The only reason that he's staying hidden is because he knows I'm coming for him. All right, so here is Crimson Frog. Okay. I wonder if you can guess why he is called the Crimson One. So here's the deal with Crimson Frog. Here's the idea. All right. I was watching Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I don't know, months ago. I watch just about every episode that comes out. I just really enjoy the show. It's fun. I like stuff that's fun. I like things that are entertaining. And it's definitely entertaining. I mean, I'm not going to get in this whole big spiel about, whether, you're offended or not about this, that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's just entertaining. I enjoy it. So anyway, Comics Artist Pro Secrets. Ethan Van Sciver was talking about that he wanted to do something that was like an anthology, I guess, where it was about the Cyberfrog universe. And it was about people that had been affected. Is it affected or affected with an A or an E? Whatever. People that had to deal with the Vespis, this alien bug race that's going around just like destroying planets and stuff like that. And so I guess what he wanted to do, like maybe he had like Earth in mind when he was telling that story, that idea. But I decided to flip it or maybe go the cosmic route with it. And I created Crimson Frog. So Crimson Frog, this is the character, this is the concept. Let me zoom in so you can bask in Crimson Frog's glory. So I immediately fell in love with the idea of the concept, and he was talking about like how he would have to it was just an idea at that point, but it's something that he really wanted to do, and he doesn't know the timeline that he wants to do it in. But I kind of know how it would go. Usually a lot of people in his inner circle might contribute, and then probably like a couple of mid-level Comicsgate folks would be able to contribute. And I feel like, I wouldn't be able to hop on that train to do a story. And I have a cool story in mind that I want to do for it. And it's just one of these things where where like, screw it, I'm just going to do my story, And I figured what I would do is I'd do the story and I'd put it up there, and I would let Comicsgate folks see it, and they either like it or not. Doesn't matter. It's just something that I want to do. And I figure as a PR stunt, it would get more eyeballs on Wildcat, more eyeballs on the projects that I'm working on, more eyeballs in some of my fellow artist friends and writer friends, because, I believe that the tide rises all ships, and I want to be that tide, because I want to bring everybody with me as much as I can to help everybody out, however that comes about. So anyway, this is Crimson Frog. And I basically did a layout or whatever for it's like the first page of this little series thing that I'm working on, Crimson Frog. And it's just like an opening thing. There might be some writing down here. I don't know where it would go, but there would be some little, I don't know if you call them blurbs, but little narration boxes talking about Crimson Frog or describing this hellish scene. And this all takes place on an alien world. So basically this alien world had been overrun by the Vespas. So you're seeing the aftermath of what's going on. The Magnificent One, Lucifer Storm, writes, "Hey CB, finally here to see your stream live. Yes, glad to have you here. Glad to have Frank here as well, and anyone else tuning in. I don't know, and like I said before, I like to do my streams really late of the night, so that way I'm not interrupted. And so I don't know if I'm going to get a phone call. It's going to try to put me off here. If Cooper is going to wake up from his nap and attack me. Or I'm going to get another delivery, that I'm going to have to tend to. I don't know. So anyway, this is the page. I thought this really well sketched out. Well, to me it is, because it captures the feel and the emotion I'm wanting to do. I know this is blurred out, but that's because it's a wall. It's a wall where he's kind of leaned up against it and he's looking at something that's happening. So now I've kind of given you the backstory, a little bit of Crimson Frog, and I guess I'll just kind of pull this right here. And so I've started doing something that I don't do. As an artist, you have to kind of continue to grow and challenge yourself and do that sort of thing. And usually when I give out these little sage advices, it's more or less I'm just giving this advice to myself, or as friendly reminders of myself. I'm just saying out loud of stuff that I need to do, practice what I preach, that sort of thing. So anyway, thumbnails. And I find that as I'm doing these thumbnails, I'm getting some very interesting layouts. I feel like I'm accomplishing something, and I'm not going in blind and having to see how all these pages come together visually, all laid out before I even sketch the first page, which I've already got a first page sketched out. It really helps me out a great deal. Do some cool stuff. So anyway, like I said, on this alien world, I could zoom in a little bit, move my hands out of the way. On this alien world, you got this guy named Crimson Frog, right? And he's the hero of the story. And he's this guy that's originally from Earth. And, well, I'll get into that, okay? So here he is. He's on this alien world. The Vespus apocalypse has already happened. It's been many years since it's happened. And the Vespus can't see red. So that's one of the reasons the bulk of his outfit is red. But just for sake of making the design more interesting, because if it's just one solid color, I feel like it wouldn't work as well. I decided to make his chest green, but like if he was to turn around, his back would be red. So if he's ever hunched over, it would be very hard for the Vespus to see him. His hair is sort of dyed red or whatever. So anyway, the Vespus can't see red. And so in this world, I was thinking the alien race, when they was at the initial war stages with the Vespus, that they would have deployed some chemical agent that caused their skies to turn purple. And initially, it did have an impact on the Vespus, but in the long run, the Vespas were able to adapt. And so that was one of their last-ditch efforts to deal with the Vespas, their own weird chemical biological agent. So in this layout, may have to zoom one more time. In this layout, we got this person here, and this is a alien, and they are running away. This little dot crap here is supposed to be Vespas that's flying. This odd stuff here is destruction. So we get a close-up of one of the Vespas. And I know this is really hard to tell, but this is a bird's eye view, looking down on the ground. And this is the alien who is running. And then this right in here, I know you can't really tell because I all mucked it up, but this is the Vespas, and this is the shadow of the Vespas because it's flying overhead. And then we get a shot here where the alien see, this is what I'm talking about. Hang on. Hello? Bring a yeah, I can show up with a pizza pan. No, I'll come get it. I'll come get it. Yeah. All right, let me get off here. I'm coming. Are you already out there? Okay, I'm coming. Okay, guys, give me a minute and 30 seconds. Okay, give me a minute and 30 seconds, and I will be right back. I promise you, I'm coming back. Okay. Oh, shucks. I tell you what, guys, you are super troopers. That was over a minute and 50 seconds, so it was a 2-minute deal. Maybe I can play some more of that music. So, all right, so in this story, here's the idea. I gotta turn this down a little bit. So we've got this alien who's fell down, and I didn't really draw that really super well. Got this Vespus flying in, and then we've got a shot of Crimson Frog's leg kind of standing there. And then we'll come over to here. We get a shot of Crimson Frog from a worm's eye view looking up, of him kind of looking down at the guy, saying something. I don't know. And then we got a Vespus, and then we've got Crimson Frog standing in front of him. And then the Vespus right here is coming in at him with Crimson Frog basically grabbing the teeth. And then right here we've got, what the hell do we have? What is this? Oh, well, wait a minute. On this panel, Crimson Frog punches the Vespus, and the Vespus goes flying through the air. Then we got Crimson Frog. I think this is Crimson Frog right here, and he's talking to the alien. And he's telling him to go. I got a close-up shot of Crimson Frog, but I may change that. I may show that alien just walking away or whatever. And then we get down to here, which I thought was pretty cool. I won a very heroic, very cool-looking splash page of Crimson Frog. And with a... that's spelled weird. With a really cool font that says "The Long Trek Home." It takes up the bulk of the left-hand side of the page. And I thought about, like, you know, these three circles could be like three moons or whatever, you know, to kind of show that this is an alien world. And again, the skies will be purple, so I thought it'd be a cool contrast maybe with a lot of the red that freaking Crimson Frog's got. I got used to that music. I got used to it what time it was playing. So anyway, we got Crimson Frog walking, and then here he is looking at a pile of junk, and he decides to sit down and take a break. And then I was going to do like a silhouette shot of him just sitting there. And the idea is I'm trying to set up a kind of like a montage, maybe not a montage, but like he's remembering things. He's remembering a life he left behind. So we got to see within the first 3 or 4 pages what Crimson Frog's life is like now. But now we're going to see what his life used to be like. So we get an establishing shot, I guess, of the city where he's from, New Jersey, which I think is where Cyberfrog is from. And we've got Crimson Frog as a teenage boy. He's sitting there, and I was thinking about having him play like Nintendo or Super Nintendo or something like that. And here's like a floor model TV. This little black glob of ink here is actually his mom. You know, you can only fit so much in these little thumbnails. And then I think I need to draw maybe like another page actually to put in some stuff between him and his mom, or maybe not. I don't know. It depends. This might be like a dialogue heavy panel. So anyway, we got this shot of Crimson Frog as a teenager. He's walking down this New Jersey street. It's a rough neighborhood that he's from. And this is Crimson Frog on the left. He's got a ball cap on and stuff. And in this alleyway, there's these two guys arguing. And this close-up shot of the argument. And I know you can't really tell, but this is a gun being held sideways to someone's head, you know, gangster style. I guess he owes him money. I don't know. And I thought this would be really cool to illustrate, make it really pop out, is a big bam to show the sound effect of the gunshot going off, and also it's also serves the purpose of being a panel. So we got a reaction of young Crimson Frog there. And so then we get over to here, and my doodles get more crude. So we basically got Crimson Frog there, and he's being confronted by the hoodlum who just shot that other guy. And this is supposed to be like his shirt or his jacket, and there's his hand, and there's a gun. This is a gun. So it's to show the threat, the imposing threat. And this is the silhouette of the bad guy. Crimson Frog is looking down. Because it's like one of these things, like you think you're tough player, you think you're a real gangster, And the other thing is that about Crimson Frog is he's a huge Cyberfrog fan, like the police and all them. Everybody hates Cyberfrog, but he's one of the few people that actually likes Cyberfrog. So he's a huge fan, and so basically. He kind of mentioned something about Cyberfrog, like Cyberfrog would get you, whatever, and the hoodlum is fronting the boy and is challenging his manhood, his courage and stuff, and basically Crimson Frog looks down. He's looking down because he doesn't quite have the courage yet to stand up to him, and what can he do? The guy's got a gun. He's a kid. So he's looking down, and then this bad guy is looking through his peripherals, and he's saying something to him, something that has kind of meaning to the story that I will kind of reflect, maybe later on. I have no idea what it could be. It could be something to the effect of like, it's like a Cyberfrog ain't nothing. You think you a Cyberfrog? I don't know, or it could be something like it's like you think you're hard, you're not, you ain't hard, you soft little man. I don't know. I could interwove that somehow in the story where it comes up later, where I have to really think it out. You have to bear with me. These are rough ideas, mind you. So anyway, then we get Crimson Frog. He's back at the apartment. It's like, Mom. And then there's the mother, and there he is. And then there's like a tender hug, embrace, and he's like squeezing her. Tears now coming out of his eyes. She's like, what's wrong? What the hell is Crimson Frog's real name? I can't remember. Might have been like Jerome or something. I don't know. Whatever. Jerome's fine. What's the matter, Jerome? He's like, Mom, blah, 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 and like... it's, this happened, this terrible thing, and I was hoping that, Cyberfrog would show up, but he didn't, It's like, what? It's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine, but, somebody got shot, she's like explaining to him, like, son, this is how the world is, and you got to get tough, but don't get hard like the other men, where they're hard on the outside and hard on the inside. You can't let the world change the good that's in you, and maybe today you're not ready to stand up to the evils, because you're just a child, but one day when you're a man, you'll be the hero that people need, or something like that. So anyway, we fast forward to the present on this alien planet. So this is like, it happened like 20 years ago or something. I always like to do things 20 years ago. That's like a weird fetish I got. So anyway, we got this alien dude who approaches Crimson Frog. And he's like, hey, we need to go to this place. Such and such is looking for you. So there they are walking. And this impossible thing to tell what's going on. There's two guys there. They're walking, and then you see in the distance where they're walking to. This is a bridge, like a drawbridge, and then here they are talking, and then I haven't got the rest of it finished. So I'm thinking. So some of you might be saying, okay, all right, CB, this little secret project Crimson Frog, which is part of the Cyberfrog universe, unsanctioned, unwelcome, probably will never see print ever. It's like some of you be like, okay, CB, I have questions. Number one, what about ownership of Crimson Frog? I really don't care about ownership of Crimson Frog. I mean, I created Crimson Frog, but it's based off Ethan Van Sciver concepts and his universe and stuff. It's just something that I'm doing that's fun, something that I think is really interesting, and I think would add a little more depth to the Cyberfrog universe. You know, because you actually get to see how alien worlds were impacted by the Vespus, this insect alien creatures that devour living beings and turn them into blood honey. And so in this, so the rest of the story, what ends up happening is at some point, he meets, he's talking to a scientist that he knows, Crimson Frog, on this alien world, and we get a little bit of backstory, like basically. The Cyberfrog technology that makes Cyberfrog isn't exclusive to Earth, you know, because it's been on other alien worlds. And basically, a fallen warrior of this Cyberfrog tech. It was the technology was reverse engineered. Now, grant you, it's nowhere as great as Cyberfrog's armor. It takes some of the basic elements of Cyberfrog. See, the alien race actually fought against Cyberfrog's alien race, and so that they've actually waged wars. And so this is some of the technology they picked up. Anyway, there was like a whole infantry units and every whole brigades or whatever of people that had this type of armor on, and they all perished in the battle against the Vespus. And so this, I don't know if you can really tell, I'll zoom in here. This little frog here is actually like you can touch it on the belt buckle and then all this armor pops up on you. That's one of the things that this alien race customized this Cyberfrog technology so that way it could get on you in a moment's notice. So his talisman, I have fudge butter, so I'm just going to call it a button. His belt buckle, was refitted in the form of a frog, you know, because he's a big Cyberfrog fan. So anyway, when he was a teenager, he was taken by a UFO at his apartment window. He's taken to this alien world, and then eventually the Vespus came, and he grew to love the people of this alien world, and so he's become their de facto defender, you know, after civilization fell on this alien planet. And let's see, what the fish sticks. What else do we got? I gotta sip my water. So here in this story thing that I'm you know, kind of farting out. So Crimson Frog meets up with this alien scientist, and they found a way to get the pheromones from the Vespus to where they won't attack. So not only can you cover yourself in red and kind of turn yourself invisible, but these pheromones can actually trick the Vespus into believing that you are a Vespus queen or king or whatever. And so at the end of the story, it might be like 20 to 24 pages long. I'll probably have to do a lot of panels to cram everything in there that I want. Crimson Frog will basically hop on the back of a Vespus, and he will make the long trek home back to Earth to try to save planet Earth from the Vespus because he knows they're on their way. He's done all he can for this alien world, and now with this pheromone stuff that they discovered, that they think this might turn the tide on that alien world. But now he's going to take this knowledge, and he's going to go back to Earth and see if he can make a difference, and he wants to help Cyberfrog. You know, he's got information that he thinks can help prevent the Vespus invasion, but little does he know that it's already happened on Earth and it's already too late. So by the time he gets there, by the time Crimson Frog gets there, the alien invasion of Earth has already taken place. And then I thought what would be cool is if anybody wanted to see more tales, if this really took off and ended up being a big deal, then I would illustrate more pages or write and illustrate more pages, letter and do the whole 9 yards. I would do more Crimson Frog where basically he's kind of doing a side mission where where he may bump into Cyberfrog once and tells him what he needs to do, but then he has to go somewhere else to go do something else on Earth. So that way it doesn't really interfere whatsoever with whatever Ethan Van Sciver's doing with Cyberfrog. And so this could actually, every bit of this can be canon. That's the wonderful thing about it, As long as it doesn't conflict with the rules of his universe, this can be absolutely be canon, as long as the fans accept it, So this was just a neat idea I had. I thought this would be a good little PR stunt to get more fans or friends and more eyeballs on Wildcat. And as I get to where I want to go, I want to be that tide that rises all boats. Not saying that egotistically, but I want to help everybody out. I want us all to do good. So that's the whole Crimson Frog thing. And let me set these to the side. I've actually got more stuff to show you. So that's enough of that. Again, EBS was doing a whole big anthology he plans on doing in the future, and I'll probably never get invited to do that, or even if I asked, still probably wouldn't, get to do it. It's just one of those things, you have to know the right people, be in the right circles, and hell, I can't even reply to a lot of my private messages or comments and stuff like that. So I'm not a really good networker, really bad at that. I guess this is the reason I really enjoy doing these live streams, because I can just say and do whatever it is I'm thinking and not, get it all out there in one whack. I hate typing up stuff when it comes to conversations. I very much prefer, what the fish sticks? I can't find nothing no more. I like this. This is really good. I was getting ready to show you something, and I was wanting to get back to where I was at because I was sketching. I was actually doing some real sketching here, and now I'm just all lost. You know what I could do? Just draw on a new page. Just draw on a new page. All right, so let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. Okay. I'm scrolling down here. Okay. Hope I missed all kinds of stuff. Lucifer Storm writes, "Hey CB, finally here to see your live stream. Well, watch it scoop all the way up. I'm glad you're here as well. Glad everybody's here. Love the background music. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got all kinds of cool tunes that I found. We'll play New Frontier. See what that sounds like. All right, I'm trying to look for questions is what I'm trying to do. I know I'm being awful quiet here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm done scrolling. Lucifer Storm writes, never say never in regards to my comments about, like, being officially accepted in like a Cyberfrog anthology, Yeah, never say never. That's true. That's true. I guess it's one of these things where if you're pessimistic about it and you don't expect it to happen, that way you don't get your hopes up. And so if it actually does happen, it's like it's a really good feeling. So what everybody's looking at right now is Onslaught Reborn, studying a little bit of Rob Liefeld. I've been studying John Buscema, David Finch, Mark Silvestri. And then here's my boy, Rob Liefeld, and, my style is just all over the place. I don't even know if I have a style, really. I feel like it's coming out. Who knows? What time I'm still fresh. I showed this before, but it's time to see it again. This is Skinny Cat, which it's, Wildcat, but this is my nickname, Skinny Cat. And the idea behind Skinny Cat is, he's come out of the grave, he's lost a lot of muscle mass, he's had like some 10 to 20 years to heal from the uranium poison that had basically, took away his healing factor for the most part, but he still managed to heal. And so this is what it looks like coming out of the grave. What I love about it is it actually brings that horror element in it. I want the the 90s, even though this isn't 90s. I want that 90s in your face action awesomeness comics, but I also want a little bit more. I want horror. I want the horror. And I want a little bit of comedy here and there and action. I'm also a fan of the Max, big fan of the Max, fan of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, of Pitt, Del Keon's Pitt, Larry Hama and Adam Kubert's Wolverine. If I could just cram all those together in a nice, healthy mix, that's what I want to do here. With a little bit of Twin Peaks, a little bit of Lost, maybe that's asking a little too much. Walking Tall, the Phantasm, and mush those together, and something great may happen. Did I show this already? I think I did. Ain't too high on this drawing, but it kind of captures the idea, So that's where I'm at. Here's where we're at. And I said in the earlier video before I deleted it because I only made it to 5 minutes, Indie Comics Explosion Experiment. So how is that going? Where are we at on that? Okay, so what is the Indie Comics Explosion? Basically, it's an experiment. There's all these indie comic pages on Facebook, and they have like pretty good following, a couple thousand people in them and stuff like that. Sometimes 10,000, maybe 20, 30, who knows? And the thing is, the thing is, you'll have creators in groups that are mostly creators, and they'll post some of their artwork, and they'll be like, hey, I got a commission piece of this Wolverine that I drawed, or this independent character I drawed, $30, $10, $20, $5, $100, and their art's great, better than mine, and the thing is, unless, I don't have access to their DMs, I have no idea what's in their DMs. Maybe they're like making billions, but I doubt it. I doubt it. The thing I notice is they barely get 1 or 2 likes on their posts, barely get any reactions, any comments, or anything like that. And so a lot of these indie comics pages, whatever, Facebook pages, it's the equivalent to the preacher preaching to the choir, Instead of like preaching to the people, to the sheep, the shepherd preaching to the sheep, he's instead, tending to something else. I don't know. I mean, you kind of get where I'm going here. I'm going to put this Rob Liefeld eyeshadow on, see how that works. So, and let me zoom in too. And then you go on these other Facebook groups where you'll have like nothing but fans. And then occasionally you have these creators, which are also part of these groups, and they try to post their stuff, and it gets drowned out by like fans just talking about Wolverine and X-Men, or like they got this comic book for sale or that comic book for sale, all these different comics. And it's like these two groups never meet, and I think it's a tragedy. I don't understand, how can social media work so well that it doesn't work at all? Why is it that comic book creators are not meeting fans and fans are not meeting comic book creators? And that's something that we got to work on. We got to figure out. I'm not saying that Indie Comics Explosion is a solution. It's an experiment, which is, it's going all right. But it's something that I'd like other people to kind of look at and think about and consider, because it's a problem, because we got everybody preaching to the choir, but we're not reaching the broader masses. And I want to see everybody do successful. So the plan that I have with the whole Indie Comics Explosion Facebook group is quite simply, just to get as many people as I can, creators, and then I eventually want to get a lot of fans on there, and I need to find a way to draw fans on there to drive them to that group, so that way, when creators post stuff, they're making sales. They're being able to support their passion, and they can find fans that are going to want to do that. Now that's just a theory. That's a big, tall order. That's a lot to want to kind of accomplish or do, and I don't have the answers. But all I know is the first step to finding those answers is I needed to put together a Facebook group to at least start the conversation, at least start working toward that goal. And so some of you will be like, okay, this sounds interesting. How's it going? It's going all right. It's one of these things where I got a lot of things going on. And, I've not really been working super hard at it. I've been putting bare minimal effort in it. And some of you be like, well, it's not going to succeed if you do that. Well, that's true. But I believe that, I'm laying down the roots to it. I'm not going to be hurt if it fails utterly, because again, like I said, it's an experiment, I just mainly trying to figure out ways to make things better, not just for myself, but for everyone. Losing my train of thought here, that's a shame. So, got about 30 members to the Indie Comics Explosion, and when I start taking it serious, hot and heavy, probably in the future I'll start adding a lot of fans. I feel like it's dismissive to say the word fans. I don't know how else to put it. People that just don't want to make comics, but they want to read comics and intermingle with creators of comics. So I'll start focusing on that. And the other thing is, I can do this. I don't know how successful it'll actually be when I put my full might and effort in, but you have to keep in mind, within the span of 6 months, I was able to get 3,000 Twitter followers. Not doing anything shady, not going to any website and paying any money or anything like that, but actually working hard, and I got 3,000 followers. Now, that doesn't mean that I have 3,000 rabid Wildcat fans. No. A lot of it's just like a lot of psychological stuff, and don't want to get into it because that's a whole nother video. But this is kind of like a mix between Erik Larsen and Rob Liefeld and something else. Marks of History maybe. Looks pretty cool. Give him some of that. That kind of ruined it when I put the pupils in. They're far too large. Let me answer a question right quick, or comments. Lucifer Storm writes, love Phantasm. Such a great movie. It is. The thing with Phantasm is it's basically a dream. I'm not saying it is a dream, but that's the way that movie is. I would love to see a remake of it. Now, normally, movies that are classics, I don't like seeing remakes of, because Hollywood is a butcher. And even if Hollywood didn't butcher movies, there's some movies that are just fine the way they are, But Phantasm, I would love to see a remake of, to see someone go and do it more serious, because the Phantasm movie does play out like a dream, like a very horrific wet dream. And what I'd like to see is a director go on and do a serious take. Now, a good example would be like Evil Dead, when they did the Evil Dead remake. That's a good remake, you know. I still prefer Sam Raimi's stuff, you know, because it's awesome. And the remake is definitely something different, you know. It takes the concept of Evil Dead and goes a different direction with it. It goes more pure horror and takes out the comedy. Well, I kind of like to see that, you know, with Phantasm, you know. See someone do something like that. I think that would be kind of neat. Now, how does Phantasm relate to Wildcat? You know, I was basically going to have my version of the tall man in the Wildcat story and stuff like that, or you know, that's the tentative plans. You know, daily I find new things to put in and more things to take out. You know, as I streamline and try to make the story as coherent and as interesting and easily to follow as possible. So, who knows? Getting into the last comment, this for Storm writes, what's your favorite facial expression to draw on a character? I like drawing grimaces. I like drawing I love drawing the Incredible Hulk, you know, so just about any face. I guess some of my favorite expressions would be maybe just pure insanity. The more insane the expression is, the more happier I am as a person. Something that suggests pure rage, anarchy, I don't know. And it's like I've drawn these expressions so much that they kind of pour out these crazy expressions. And I like it when they show the teeth. I always think that's pretty cool. Man, I'm going to go ahead and make that a thing, and I ain't got my other things here, so I don't have a pencil handy. Well, actually I do, but I just kind of want to go quick with it. And I always like drawing these teeth coming down like that, and I think that's pretty cool. And I can come in and fix them later. Put some little horseshoes in there. Add the gums. I like the gums to show too, you know. Okay. It's got like 3 in the middle, and I guess he's got 4 here. It's got buck teeth. Gotta make sure to go that way. And come down here. Really pour it in. Man, I'm running out of ink. Pen can't keep up. Add some shadow in here. Okay, there's that. That's pretty, you know, usually I can get it more intense, you know. Right now it's just kind of, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. So, yeah, something like that, you know, just really off the wall. I like drawing girl faces that are very doll-like. And grimacing. Yeah, just angry faces. I enjoy drawing angry faces. But I also try to change it up and draw like a wide variety of faces, because I'm really a big fan of J. Scott Campbell, the variety of faces that he does. Because I think it tells more of a story when a character makes a variety of faces, instead of like, as much as I love Rob Liefeld, you know, you see this a lot, you know. You'll see an open mouth, you'll see an open mouth thing, a grimace, and then a line across, and that's pretty much it. You know, that's the only variety you get. Say open mouth, which that's not to trash him. He does it better about anybody. There's this But mouth, But I want a variety of expressions, because I think it adds to the story. It adds subtlety. Somebody else that does it great, other than J. Scott Campbell, is Gary Frank. His run on the Incredible Hulk comes to mind. Really, really good. So I wanted to give everybody an update on what I'm working on. I've been getting up early in the morning, and it's been really throwing me off, and I haven't been able to do the shows at the regular scheduled time that I usually do them in. One other thing before I go, as you can tell, I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I've got this Wildcat anthology. It's called it's a big long title, and I love it. I did it on purpose, because it's so absurd. The Non-Canonical Misadventures of Wildcat, the anthology, and the idea behind it is just get, just about anybody that wants to hop on board and contribute a story where it's penciled, ink, lettered, and stuff like that, in black and white. And it'd be like 8 pages, maybe more, if the person can't cram their story in it. And then I can figure it out. I can pad the book up and make it thicker to make sure that everything adds up mathematically in terms of pages. And honestly, the thicker the anthology is, the more I think people that would want to buy it would be inclined to buy it, because they'd be getting the money's worth. That's just my train of thought, and I thought about it'd be cool to put in there like a 1 to 2 page thing where the contributors of the book can put whatever they wanted to plug their characters, their websites, their social medias, whatever they wanted to do, and definitely get everybody's like bio in there where they can pimp themselves out. It's doable. All that stuff's doable. Just has to get it all figured out. Will it happen? Will the anthology happen? Well, mainly I'm just looking for a lot of interest in the anthology, to see if it's there, for anyone that would want to do it. And so far there is some interest. I think some people are genuinely interested. We've got 3 people so far that's ready to do something. And I'm looking for a couple more people, and I think then we'll be rocking, and then I can start actually seriously talk about what a possible deadline would be, and getting everybody seeing where they're at, and where they could they meet that deadline and all this other stuff, and like the deadline. I don't even want to talk about it right now because, no need to get everybody stressed out of anything. And also, want to make sure that everybody would be able to meet it, and I think a deadline is important, so it gives everybody a goal for everyone to shoot for. But will the anthology happen? I don't know. Probably not, who knows? Or maybe it will. But something I'd like to do, who knows? It may happen, may not, but if it don't, it won't hurt my feelings. But if it does, that'd be awesome. I think that would be really cool. What else do I have to say? Not much else. I want to do some more fan art. I was planning on doing some fan art of Gibbs' character. I can't remember what it's called. It's a really cool name. It is, what is Gibbs' character called? He's got like horns on his head, like a skull and horns or something like that. It's something barbarian. Well, whatever he is, I was going to do some fan art of that. I was thinking about doing some Feuerstorm fan art, Lucifer Storm fan art of his character. I think Lady Satan. Hell, I don't know what else. There's a couple of fan arts I was wanting to do that I haven't gotten around to yet. I just been trying not to bite off more than what I can chew, because I still am working on Wildcat pages. I honestly am. I know I'm not showing them right now, but at work, I've got a notepad where I'm doing these thumbnails at work, actually detailing the murder out really well, a Wildcat, and then getting that fleshed out. Let's see, answer some questions. Jeremy Burtz writes, do you have a video to help me know about Wildcat? Dang. Well, that's good. Well, I got like 100 videos probably, honestly. I know that sounds like sarcasm, but I'm being truthful. I just can't think of a particular one of which one I could point you to that would have all the information in it. One of the things I plan on doing once I have enough people that I know would be interested in contributing to the Wildcat Anthology, and so then I would greenlight it. I'd say, like, this project is a go. We're going to do this, right? And then what I would do is I would actually type up like a Cliff Notes, who Wildcat is, what he can do, what his powers are, a little bit of his background, a little bit about the environment he's in, and stuff like that. So that way, it'd be a consistent Wildcat, and I also would include like some files of like what he looks like with his clothes and stuff, and then the other thing I would do is I would remind everyone that if they, the ones that are contributing to the Wildcat Anthology, that basically don't worry about creating any new characters or anything like that, because it gets into a weird thing, where you don't want to create new characters for something that you may or may not own and stuff. So just to keep it simple, Wildcat can fight zombies, robots, aliens, Lovecraftian monsters. Wildcat can fight clowns. He can fight feminists if you like. I just threw it in out of nowhere. Aliens. Let's see. What else can Wildcat fight? He can. I don't know. He can fight monsters, goblins, trolls. There's a whole, demons. There's a whole assortment of things that Wildcat can fight. Vampires, werewolves, unicorns, the Loch Ness Monster, you name it, Bigfoot. Wildcat can fight anything that you want to throw at him, You can have Wildcat fight public domain characters such as Dracula or Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, that is. Wildcat can fight public domain superheroes. So it doesn't matter. He can fight whatever. The other thing is, and the story doesn't mean that Wildcat actually has to fight anybody. Sometimes he can have a dialogue with a villain in very much the same way of like Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards, where the opening scene is of this who they call the Jew hunter, who's basically finding Jews and killing them. And he's at this house and he's having this big dialogue over a glass of milk. And then things just take this dark twist at the end where he just kills the whole family underneath the porch. So, you can do something like that. I'm not saying Wildcat's killing, people underneath the porch, but I'm just trying to give you ideas of like concepts, like Quentin Tarantino can basically have a bunch of nothing happen, but nothing but dialogue between two characters. But through the drama of what they're saying, it ratchets it up, sort of like Four Rooms, another Quentin Tarantino movie, where at the end of it, there is the bellhop who goes to these wild Hollywood types, and they're having a bet, and it's something that has to deal with like cutting a finger off or something, I don't know. And then the guy gets the finger cut off, and there's a big tension leading up to it. I can't remember the whole setup to it. You'd have to watch it. Then there is the whole mystery of who poisoned the coffee pot in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. Which is also, interesting, so there's lots of ways to build tension without actually showing any action. So that could be a Wildcat story. It could also be comedic, for anyone interesting. You can do a funny bit, with Wildcat, I don't know. It could be whatever. I'm just throwing out ideas because, don't feel restrained. Just I would type up a basic recipe of who Wildcat is, and I would throw it out there for everybody to consume. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Lister Storm writes, feel free to include the Wildcat short I wrote a while back for the anthology, as well as the one I am writing currently. You are a writing machine, sir. Let's see. Lucifer Storm also writes, I've got werewolves covered for you, buddy. Excellent. I gotta say, I feel like I need to redeem myself on werewolves, because when I did the 100th Anthology Volume 2, Werewolves and Unicorns and Other Mythical Creatures, I was very constrained with doing 4 pages for it, so there's a big story I wanted to tell, a really cool story, and 4 pages just wasn't enough for me. So I managed to do the impossible and cram 4 pages worth of stuff, like 24 pages worth of story in 4 pages. Pat myself on the back, but if you notice, there's a lot of dialogue on those pages, but hey, hell, that's the best I could do. But one of the other things, one of the problems I had with werewolves, the main point of the story didn't look that hot, but I couldn't do any splash pages where I could really stretch and show some awesome stuff, so it was more about just telling a story rather than just trying to show off. Everybody else in the 100th Anthology, I felt like they kind of blew that out of the water, with their short stories were really short and sweet and impactful, and a lot less dialogue, and they were able to accomplish a lot more with less, so they did really good. I'm still overall very proud of the effort and the story that I think I crafted for that, but I feel like I need to redeem myself with my renditions of werewolves. Not saying that I'm a werewolf drawing expert, because I had my chance, but I feel like, I don't know. I need to redeem my honor at drawing werewolves. I guess last thought, parting thoughts, maybe. I don't know. But Jeremy Burt's video helped to know about Wildcat. If you're still watching, all right, I'll tell you everything that you may want to know about Wildcat. So basically, Wildcat is, we don't know how old he is. He's got gray skin. He has a metal eye that's cybernetic, that's able to crawl out of his head and do interesting things. If you remember Deathlock, Marvel's Deathlock, he had a computer component in his brain where it would talk to him. And so the very same thing happens with the cybernetic eye. We won't see that right away. I got all kinds of crazy stuff with Wildcat, but classically, that cybernetic eye could analyze targets and talk to him about things and have conversations with Wildcat, but we won't see that for some time to come. But it's there. Also, the cybernetic eye, in one of the stories that I planned on doing, is actually secretly recording everything that Wildcat does. And there's a villain attached to it, and that's something else, another future storyline. Wildcat has black claws that can cut through anything. His skeleton is black, with the exception of his teeth. So it's this weird black substance. And when Wildcat gets very, very, very angry and loses control, his eyes and the irises and the pupils of his eyes turn black. This black ooze comes over him, they just turn black. Also, he has no memory of his past because he had his brains blowed out when they poisoned him with uranium and stabbed him to death. I plan on showing him getting stabbed to death, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Draw it, because I'm only so good. And a lot of other stuff happened to him. He had his arm cut off, and a rock-like parasite bit his arm when it got cut off, the nub of his arm. And so when he comes back out of the grave, it turns out that parasite has a symbiotic relationship with the rest of his body, and so now it becomes his new arm. It's got these little black hairs sticking out. That's something new that I've added. Wildcat also has these unexplained triangle tattoos that are red from the north and south of his head. He's got his mechanical eye. Now this eye doesn't have to be red, and this one, like his natural color, has got blue eyes. That they both can be the same color, and the reason is it's because it's a cybernetic eye. It can actually change the hue of its color, to blend in with his natural eye. There are ravens that follow Wildcat all over the place, not all the time, but they show up, and it adds a little bit of a horror feel to the story. Has limited. Let me rephrase it. Has limited memories of his past. Wildcat is his code name, because the military at one point had some dealings with him, and that was his code name, was Wildcat. His name that he's been given is the Fox. This girl that takes care of him, who wears a fox hoodie, she calls him Dean. Okay, and Dean has a special meaning to him, but she calls him Dean. And everybody calls him, another nickname they have for him is Dead Man, and they also call him Lazarus. So his name becomes Dean Lazarus, or sometimes they just refer to him as Lazarus, something like that. I know it's all over the place, but it depends on what character's talking to him, and if they mean it as an insult. Wildcat has a southern drawl. He has a southern voice. He has expressions like... I don't know, instead of saying you all, it says youans. He may sometimes say y'all. He may say sometimes, let's say some other little southern things. Which I'm not sure if I want to write it out like that, but... there. Like, you might want to head over there. But, it'd probably be better to write, as there, But, because you don't want it too thick. I don't want to write it too thick, like how Mark Twain did, which is fine how Mark Twain done it. Just a healthy amount of little southern things to end or begin words, and sometimes maybe right in the middle. Let's see. The other thing is he has a catchphrase. Killing is my business, and business is good. Which I don't think anybody else has that catchphrase. I may change it, I got that from a Megadeth album, which I think Dave Mustaine got it from Punisher comics. So I hope Punisher doesn't use that phrase. But yeah, so that's an expression Wildcat may use. Let's see, other little Wildcat things. Also, Wildcat. There's a whole big tug of war with Wildcat because he has this animal side to him. And he may go out at night sometimes and he'll hunt deer, animals, eat them, devour them, drink their blood, eat their flesh. And it's like a part of himself that he has a hard time dealing with sometimes, because one of the themes of the book is he a man? Or is he an animal? And also the main theme is, one of the main themes is he alive or is he dead? And it's a story of redemption and of forgiveness, and your past doesn't define who you are. The idea is like maybe in his past he wasn't such a good guy, but now he's been given a fresh start, whether he knows it or not, to be something more than what he was. And both him and the Fox, this teenage girl, have things that they have to redeem themselves for, things that they have to make right, and things they have to cope with. And so that's part of the story too. And I don't know. There's a lot more to tell, I guess. Really, but that's the shtick of it. He has a healing factor. you know? So the best way to think about it is just write Wolverine. Just write Wolverine. Give him gray skin, rock arm, pointy ears. He's got pointy ears, by the way. These red tattoos on his forehead and his chin, you know. Yeah. So anyway, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If anyone has any questions or whatever, just leave a comment. You know, I'll eventually answer it either in video form or, you know, I don't know, in a message or something if I ever get to it. I really appreciate everybody tuning in today. You're watching Sketching Past Midnight Live evening time edition from where I live at. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in. And it's time to end the show. Much love to everyone. And as always, this is CB Smallwood, the greatest of all time, the unchallenged, undisputed, so it must be true. Simply the best thing going on YouTube since electricity. Don't look into that, though, okay? Don't look into that because I'm going to get mad and embarrassed at the same time. But we'll pretend it's true, and I appreciate everything. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Doing.